Welcome back to another episode where I help younger physicians decrease stress and increase income by transitioning from corporate to independent practices, even without any business experience. So welcome to another crazy medical story with your host, Coach JPMD. That's me, also known as Jude PRMD. And this week's episode is not directly related to medical care. Looking back at this story, it's really a crazy story about perseverance. Overcoming disaster. It was a cool October Friday afternoon. I had just come back from the grocery store with a friend of mine. At the time, I don't think I had a car, or if I did, I wasn't using it. And I was still in medical school. It was first year medical school, actually. And it was the first 3 months of medical school. So I would say that's October 1993. Wow, that's a long time ago. But anyway, as I'm coming back into my apartment and at Einstein, we had 3 major towers, I think about 20 stories high. It's right in the middle of the campus. We had a gym downstairs. Medical school was across the street. It was all kind of one complex contained. Jacoby Medical Center was, I could see the hospital, which is a pretty prominent trauma center in the Bronx. And I walk into my building to see my roommate freaking out. He was screaming, yelling, and I said, "Jose, what's going on?" His hair was singed. And he said, "There's a fire in our apartment. There's a fire in our apartment." I'm like, "What?" So I run back into the building with him. We lived on the 8th floor, I think, or 10th floor. And we did everything that you're not supposed to do in a fire. We got in an elevator. We got up in the elevator. And as soon as I got out of the elevator door on the 10th floor, you could see smoke. And we did another thing that we shouldn't do. We actually opened the door. And a huge plume of smoke came out, and it was a disaster. It was a disaster. The apartment was on fire. I guess 911 had already been called. Firefighters came, and pretty much lost everything in the fire within 3 months of medical school. And that's how I started medical school. At the time, my mom was actually in New York. She was on the island, and I called her. My dad was in Haiti. We decided not to tell him. And that was that Friday afternoon. And, I ended up staying on campus, even though I could have gone to my mom's house, because I actually wanted to go back. And there's one thing I wanted to try to salvage, and that was a college ring that I had. I had saved some money to buy my Howard University college ring. And I thought I'd find it in the rubble. And I did not find it. But, it was definitely an experience that I don't wish on anyone. But I have to say that it was in that experience I realized how great humanity was, how great a group of students I had in my class and at the school. I ended up staying with a good friend of mine, Ben Salento, who's actually an ENT out of Texas now. And I had classes on Monday. And on Monday morning, I went into the class, and obviously everyone knew about the fire. And the students wanted an update, so I actually gave them an update. I told them I'm staying in class. Some people wanted to know if I was actually going to quit medical school after the incident, and I said no, I'm gonna stay. And continued on with classes, continued on with my work. But I have to say that probably wasn't the best idea, because I ended up failing 2 classes in the first year of medical school. And it was the only 2 classes I failed in medical school, and it was right after my fire. And I was able to retake those courses during the summer. But I was advised actually to take the semester off. But my hard head did not want to do that, and I ended up suffering the consequences. But hey, I'm an MD, and I've been practicing for 23 years, and so I think that that may not have been the best idea at the time, but it turned out okay. I have to say that Einstein was great. I went to Albert Einstein College of Medicine, and they actually found me another apartment within the week. And I was able to continue classes and really go through a tough experience, but with the takeaways that I want to bring to you guys as my audience. You may be going through some rough times, and I have to say that my roommate was actually sleeping in the room at the time that he smelt the smoke, and God is good. He kept him from harm. He kept me from harm, because this actually started in my actual room. Not sure what happened, but he kept us safe. So God is good. The second thing I take away from this is that failing a course in medical school, or in any stage of your medical career, is not the end of the story. There's always a way to recover. We just have to put our minds to it and involve the right people so that we can overcome things that happen in life. And the last thing I want to say is that perseverance, I think, is the exercise for building endurance and strength. Because I've gone through some things in my life, and I've persevered. And sometimes it's hard to think that you are going to get through it, but you are if you have the right people in place and have the right mindset. That's what I want to give you this week on this week's Crazy Medical Story. See you next week. Thank you for listening to these crazy medical stories. And don't forget to subscribe and follow this podcast on your favorite podcast app so that you'll never miss an episode.